Time keeps on leaving and we keep on moving. When do we pass on our wisdom to the youth? My veteran story, lost arts discussions, fireside chats with a bourbon or two. It's time to hear the stories by our military veterans. Get yourself ready. It's the Lost Arts Podcast. The Lost Arts with Andrew Cox. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast. That podcast is giving a voice to our veterans. On today's episode, we're going to have a fireside chat. We're going to have a fireside chat with the original 29 Palms, way back in the day rock band. So they're coming in to just talk about the gig that they just did at my retirement party, which was pretty cool. But with that, if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast at some point in time, go ahead, shoot me an email at thelostartwithandrewcox@gmail.com. And if you like what you're seeing and you want to help us out financially through anything, you can become a patron. That's a monthly reoccurring donation, or you can do a one-time donation. Both of those are available on the website. And of course, like always, we do have some merchandise that you can get. Just go on the website, click the merchandise tab, and then you can go look at the cool t-shirts, mugs, and all that other good stuff. All right, with that, we're going to have our guys come on here. I'm going to figure out how to unmute everybody. Ask all to unmute. I'm doing it right now. All right, unmute. All right, we got Dan King. Dan King, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we got Brad. Brad, how are you doing?
I'm great. Appreciate the invite, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And Christian Ariano over there, he's holding his guitar. Go ahead. You gotta say something. You gotta say something so people see you.
I'm trying to say something. Hello. Thanks to everyone. Andrew, thanks for inviting me on this.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have one more joining us. He is the only one right now that's working. He's a fire chief, something like that out there in Nashville. So he's got to pull himself away from whatever fire is going on so he could join us, but he'll be here eventually. All right. Hey, I know for me, I had a blast the other night and just watching you guys jam out just for me brought it all back to what it was like at the very beginning for me. And it was an absolute blast, man. What did you guys think about it? Y'all got to talk.
Brad, go ahead.
All right, I'll go ahead. Man, I'll tell you what, we got together. We were together about a year, way back in the year of, I think, 2000, 2001, somewhere in there. And at that point, Dan mentioned to myself and Chris and John, he says, hey, remember this because it's never going to be like this anywhere else you go. And at that time, we're like, oh, no, man, this is the way every band's going to be. And, man, Dan, I wish I would have heeded your advice a little more and really relished in the moment, because everywhere else I went after that for the next couple of years, man, it was never the same. But for my retirement about 2 years ago, Dan and Chris and John had this great idea. Hey, let's get the band back together. And at first I was like, man, that's going to be terrible. But the more I thought about it, it's like, man, this could be the last time. We rocked out here. And then while we were standing here, Andrew, you were here. We all said, hey, when's the next time we can play? And Andrew says, hey, I'm retiring in about 2 years. Let's do it then. And we're all at that point. Yeah. Sounds great. And beginning of February, it was like, oh, man, this is a couple weeks away. Yeah, let's do it. Because there isn't anything else I'd want to do on a weekend in February, leave 75 degrees, beautiful sunshine, to go to Virginia Beach in the rain and celebrate a retirement, man. So it was cool being back together again. It's like riding a bike. You know, it might not have sounded as good as it did 20 some years ago, but man, it was a blast. So thanks again for letting us play there, Andrew. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I will tell you that my family freaking loved it. They thought that was the coolest thing ever. So you guys made me out to be a really cool hero for them that night. So appreciate that. What about you guys, Dan, Christian?
I'll be honest with you. I almost didn't expect it to happen because we just kind of threw it out there casually, like Brad said, at his retirement. And, it was probably 2 months out we started getting texts from Johnny Russ. So, I hope he can join us to talk about it. And, he basically worked out all the logistics, put it together. And I was like, well, guess we're doing this. I had the easy part. I was close by. I was driving distance from you. So, to the other three folks, Brad, Chris, and John, I'm just, so thankful they could, fly out and be with us and just have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're up Quantico area, is that right, Dan?
I am at what we call Frednexburg.
I like it. And then Brad, you're down in New Orleans, somewhere down there, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And Christian, where are you at?
I'm in Cincinnati right now.
Okay, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati right now, and I'll tell you, just as far as the getting back together, getting the band together again. Brad, you made a point of it. We may not have sounded as good. I got to tell you, I think we sounded exactly the same as we did back. It was exactly the same. We used to tell the audience, the more you drink, the better we sound. Yeah, they were. I think we sounded exactly like we did, which is frankly great. A lot of hooting, a lot of hollering, and it definitely made me feel good. It made me, lose a lot of my my personal, worries and nerves to get back up in front of a bunch of musicians and playing again. Just brought it back home, made it feel like, oh yeah, obviously, of course we're here doing this. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, Christian said, playing in front of a bunch of musicians. It's like at my house down here in New Orleans when I retired, it was just a bunch of friends, couple people. Hey, let's hang out. Invited my neighbors and played outside of my back patio, and it was great. And then when I actually realized, oh man, this is really going to happen up there in Virginia. Man, I'm going to have the percussion instructor there. I'm going to have a dude. Man, all these people. I legitimately just went and got my drums from Pennsylvania over Christmas, and I legitimately put together this small kit and had to practice because man, I was more nervous then than I was for any gig in the Marine Corps. I ain't kidding you. It was ridiculous.
You and I both, Brad. You and I both.
Yeah. I was like, man, all those eyes looking on you, and you're like, man, these guys are professionals. Man, I haven't played in a band. It's been years, as you know, as we grow older in the Marine Corps, it's more about taking care of the Marines and, your skills, musical skills, especially your musicianship, man, that kind of gets pushed to the wayside and you get more other stuff going on. So.
Oh yeah, that's very, very true. But I will say that I talked to the owners of that establishment where we were at, and you were just mentioning the more you drink, the better we sound. I will say, according to him, they made record numbers in alcohol sales that night. So we did what Marines
we sounded
do.
Great then, right?
Yeah,
we sounded really good.
I think that's why you guys were the rock stars of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Maybe not the whole reason.
You talk about the alcohol part, and I think things may have changed a little bit from what it used to be. That culture, I should say. When it comes to the drinking part, we didn't see anybody stumbling around. I say we didn't have to carry anybody. We didn't have to shove a bolt down someone's throat to make them get all the. Oh, Nathan French, man. Oh man, rest in peace, man. But like. We were, watching that. Everybody just had a good time. Nobody was being dumb. Everybody's, just having a good time. I think we definitely got away from that crazy just drinking culture as it used to be, and just enjoying ourselves, having a good time, and still taking care of each other.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're right. Everyone was fantastic. There was nobody that got too crazy, anything like that. It was just enough to have a good time. At least for me, it was. I was being careful that night because the night before was a little rough, but yeah. So, hey, I do have a surprise for you guys, and here in about 5 minutes or so, so we can talk about other things until then. But here in a little bit, there's going to be a good surprise for you. So I'm looking forward to.
All right.
I have no idea what he's talking about. It's
Dude,
okay. All right. So what was the hardest thing for you guys as far as getting back together after so many years and playing? I mean, it was 2 years ago, the last time you guys played.
I guess it's really just figuring out what we're going to play. I mean, back
Yeah.
years and years ago, we had a whole Rolodex of all kinds of stuff. Hey, where are we going? Oh, we're going in the middle of nowhere, 29 Palms. Okay, let's pull out some classic rock and let's play this. Oh, we're going to Palm Springs. Well, they're a lot older down there, so let's go way, way back in the catalog, the early stuff, or we're playing in a bar for a bunch of young. I remember Dan hooked it up. We played for a barracks bash. I don't know
Oh, wow.
how he would pull this stuff off, but we played for this barracks bash and take as much sound equipment as we could possibly do. And we play, if we're playing for a bunch of drunk, young Marines, and man, we played rock and roll. And also, I would never forget this is Dan. I don't know how, like I said, this guy knew all kinds of people. He hooks it up where we play For Those About to Rock by AC/DC with live 105 howitzers on the middle of freaking Victory Field. And I remember it was like, this is ridiculous. The band officer was like, we need those for 1812 Overture. And he's like, oh, don't worry, we won't use that many rounds. And man, we must have shot 50 rounds during that. So it was good. So, but
I don't know how the amps stayed upright that first shot. They look back at the stacks flopping around, and
oh, it was
Man,
good. I mean, they were right next to the stage too. I mean, it was like you'd smell the powder and be like, whoa, how do we pull this off?
That's one of the crowning moments of life right there, because I don't even think AC/DC can say they've played that song to live artillery rounds or, ceremonial rounds.
Yeah.
Really wasn't all that hard. It was the lieutenant that was in charge of the detail, had come over the band hall to talk about 1812 Overture with, I believe it was Gary Beeman at the time, about setting that up. And I just kind of pulled him to the side and said, hey, can you order extra rounds? And he said, I can get as many as you want.
Wow.
It
That's
was
simple, huh?
memorable. It was awesome.
Was that the same gig where Christian, you played the national anthem on the guitar?
I think it may have been. I think I may have opened it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was getting out of my car, walking up because I was going to go listen and everything. Me and the wife, and all of a sudden I heard it, and I mean you were getting it, and I was like, "Is this for real? Are we really doing this right now?" So I stop and I come to attention. Everybody around us comes to attention. They're all saluting, and I'm like, "I can't believe we're doing this right now." It was pretty cool.
I see it as different as when a trumpet player plays it by themselves, or somebody sings it. It's just another instrument. Happens to have a little distortion though.
Yeah, exactly. And the original, Woodstock with Hendrix. I mean, that's iconic, and everybody knows about that. And it's just a little takeoff of that, and it's not disparaging in any way, shape, or form. It's it's paying respect, just in our own way.
I mean, he was Army, right? Hendrix, when the Army musician.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. I know he was a musician. I think it was Army. There's a picture in the School of Music, I think, that has him up on the wall playing or something somewhere. I don't know. I was walking the halls and found it one time. So, what was your guys' favorite part coming back here and getting to play a little bit together?
Brad can still catch a guitar.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Listen,
Barely.
Watching Brad catch
got it going to the ground himself.
somebody in your
The
family
endings,
asked,
right?
well, how often do you do that? And I'm like, that's the third time in our lives that we've ever done that.
I think we
Once
did
was
it
when we
more
actually
than 3
rehearsed it.
times.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I
maybe.
didn't
I
see
think
it.
you-
My head was to the side, and I saw a flash, go by. So it must have been the light coming off the body of the guitar, and I was like, "What just happened?"
So for anybody who's listening or watching this who wasn't at the show at the retirement, we ended this song. What do we end on? What was it? Hot for Teacher.
It was
I
Hot
think
for
we closed
Teacher,
it out
yeah.
with. We get to the end of it. We're doing this big trash can ending, as they call it. We're just hitting all cymbals. We're just rocking out, doing this thing. We got to end it. And, we usually give a cue, something, a kick, a big jump or something to end it. Well, I do remember doing this a few times before. What I decided to do was take off my strap and I threw the guitar at Brad. And we used to do it where he would catch it and hit the cymbal at the same time to end the song. It was completely impromptu, didn't plan it. I had a little guitar too, so I know it wouldn't hurt Brad too much. It would be crazy. But I tell you, he caught it and he nailed it. He didn't fall over, man. It was beautiful. It was a great ending.
So
Much,
here we are.
much better than the Bill Chase ending.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We talked about the Bill Chase ending.
We were going to do it just to piss you off.
So we got
Is that
some
Adrian?
additions here. Adrian Shields, he just come on there. That is one epic beard. Someday
Yo.
I'll be Dwayne King. He just got here. So there's your surprise. We're gonna get the whole band back together.
The whole
Yeah.
band.
Holy smokes.
Yeah,
We'll see
I,
how many we
That's
can fit on
awesome.
here.
I saw the group growing and growing and growing. I was like, hell, if I'm gonna miss that.
Holy crap. Adrian,
Hey,
what
John-
the hell happened to you?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm exactly the same as when I left the Corps. Still do my
You're
20
like-
pull-ups. Go run 3 miles. Let's go.
All right.
I'm
Well, yeah,
lying,
I'm glad
man.
somebody can. Jeez.
I'm lying my ass off.
That's epic, Adrian. That's epic, man. The beard is epic.
Yeah.
You know, it was easier to just shave. This thing's a nightmare.
Man,
Especially
how
as a
many
welder.
people did you invite?
No kidding.
It kind
The
of
whole
got out of
band.
hand on the face pages with the messenger, and people
God.
just kept inviting people. So I don't know. We'll see how many show up.
I mean,
Uh,
I got
the drum
stories
major,
on
Anthony
all these
Crosby.
people jumping on.
That's
Anthony-
the drum major, Anthony Brown.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, and I got a,
still,
I got a surprise too. So I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna play it in a little
oh
bit.
yeah, Common Saturday Christmas, dude.
Haji Halls. That's a
Oh,
crazy thing. I don't know
awful.
how that didn't win a Grammy.
Awful.
Syphilis.
Grammy.
Syphilis.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
said, hey, Adrian, man, Mikey Franz was even there, and I was like, dude, you're the reason I almost got freaking NJP'd by Dan. Dude, it was
Oh.
funny.
what's going on, Carl? Mr. Simbrosky, how you doing, man?
Good guys, how are y'all?
I'm great.
Can you hear me?
Good.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, we can.
Living the dream.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right, let's
appreciate
go.
the invite.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go around real quick for those that just joined us. Just say when you served at the what is it, Marine Ground Air Combat Center? I can't remember the big
Yeah, it
long name.
depends
When you
If it
served
was
there,
Tom Mangan, you couldn't say that name because we're Marine Band 29 Palms.
Yeah.
And then Rob Jacob got there and he's like, we're Marines and we're going to be infantry. So we're the Combat Center Band.
Brad, you
Oh,
didn't say it
okay.
with enough of a lisp.
I know. Hang on. I'll get my coffee cup and
Yeah, you used to
split
do
my
that
legs.
much better than that. That's right, Brad.
Hey, he's
I
a
think-
pirate now. Watch out.
Yeah,
That's
Mangan
right.
was not happy with Tim Smith's what do they call it? Palm Springs North or something like that. Palm Springs Zone or something. He didn't like that.
very nice.
Why we
All right,
call
hey,
ourselves
Adrian,
Marine
go
Band
ahead.
San
Tell
Diego
us
East.
when you served there, and a little bit about when you were there. Maybe a memory or two.
Who?
You.
Oh, I'm sorry. I turned into an owl for a second. Ooh. Yeah, so I was a staff sergeant, newly promoted. Got there in June or July of '98, and I left there right after September 11th. That little Canada tour was my last hurrah before I went back to the school.
Tunes of Glory.
Yeah.
That's the name of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Well, I was there. I got there as Sergeant Brown and on September 11th, 2001, and picked up Staff Sergeant there before I got out in 2003. Was a
Okay.
drum major, was the platoon sergeant. So
wait, you arrived on September 11th?
yeah, I got there. I got on base right after they closed the gates.
Yeah.
My wife and my kid was out in the hotel, and that was that day.
All right. I'm sure we'll talk about that moment enough. I'll shut up.
All right, Dan. Dwayne.
So
no,
I
Dwayne.
was-
Sorry.
Oh.
Oh, you know, good. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was there as a sergeant and staff sergeant. Arrived in June of '97 and left August 2001. So it was about a year. previous is, was the famed era of the rock band for me.
Yeah. Yeah, Brad.
I was there from June of 2000, and I left in February of 2005.
Wow.
Nice.
Old man of the desert.
Oh yeah, I got plenty of stories. We'll be on here for a while.
Oh
You know
man.
what a Varig story entails.
Yeah, it's all good.
Um,
right. Christian, go ahead and tell us on yours.
Oh, yeah, I got there August 2000. Me and Shook, David Shook, we both got there at the same time. And I left in about February, March, somewhere in that time for 2005.
Okay. And then who is it? Dwayne?
I got there October 2000 and left in the end of December 2001 for the CCDM course.
Gotcha. And then Carl.
I got there in March, April 2001, and then left in 2003 for Okinawa. Thank you, Villarreal.
Nice. And Marikine has just joined us there.
Oh, there's Rob.
Hey,
What's up, buddy?
He's ignoring us. He's just saying peace. Tell us when you were there at 29 Palms, Rob. That requires you to say something, man. You got to talk. Can you hear me now? Is this thing on?
Christian, can you translate, please?
Oh,
What's he doing?
I don't know. Just
Hey, he's watching the show, man.
Yeah,
I didn't hear a word we're saying. Oh, connecting the audio.
He's there, but he's not
Audience.
there.
Well,
I think-
I just want to say real quick for Rarig and Ariana, I was guy had already got out in 98, and then I came back in and ended up in 29 Palms. So I was in Albany for 6 years, like you were in the desert for 5 or so. But
Boy.
And then when I got out, I was going to stay in for 20, and I got out to go in ministry. I have no regrets, but gosh darn it, I wish I'd freaking stayed in for my 20. But man, when I saw you guys stay in, I was really surprised, and it warmed my heart. I was excited to see you guys make a career out of it, end up being drum major and enlisted conductor. I think Ariana, right? You were enlisted conductor.
that for a little bit, yes, sir.
Yeah, and so that was really exciting for me, being y'all's platoon sergeant for a little bit. Hope I did all right.
You did great,
My
Anthony,
first story.
man. I would say just Anthony, really quick. I stuck around. I think you're definitely a part of that decision. I think too. If I think of you as like Gunny Highway, I saw myself definitely as old Stitch Jones, the Ayatollah of rock and roll. No, man, you definitely played a part in my decision to stick around. There's good people here, man. That's what made me say, "Yep, there's more good people." I should hang out with these crazies.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Right on.
Oh, I remember you
remember-
wanted so much of the action, Mr. Guitar watching the phone. We come back from marching gigs and you're over there playing the pouch on the
Dude.
guitar, man. That was awesome.
Dude, I always felt awful about it. I think that was my
Yeah.
first gig I did that. I was like living it up, thinking, all right, I don't got to do marching. And then the entire fucking band started coming back, calling me, "Hey, what's up, Skate? How you doing, Skate?" And then from there, I was like, "Nah, screw that. I'll go march this from now on."
Yep.
I'd rather do
we
that
had
than
a
get
we had a
crap
pretty
from
big
everyone.
drum line there for a while.
Yeah.
That one we concocted to go to Colorado the first year.
Oh my God.
5 snares, tenors, 2 bass drums, 2 or 3 cymbals, all kinds of
Yeah.
stupid
And then
crap.
we just got to traipse around in the mud and stuff. Or
Oh
is
yeah,
that-
wear your white trousers. We'll pay for
Yeah,
the
with the
dry
white
cleaning.
trousers,
Yeah,
yeah.
you will.
Oh, we paid for it, all right.
Yeah, no shit. Hey Anthony, I remember platoon sergeanting. Speaking of Colorado, we get on the bus, and Tom Mangan comes on and gives us this 45-minute speech how he met Dan Daly's sister's cousin's lover twice removed or something like that. And he's like, "We can make this really work. We can make this work." And you sitting right behind us, because Johnny and I were in the front, I think, and you sitting right behind us, "For the love of God, sir, we're tired. Shut the F up." And that's all I remember. You just screaming. And he's like, "Did somebody say something?" "No, sir. Eddie, just carry on."
You know something? I knew Mangan back when he was a sergeant in Okinawa back in the mid 90s, early 90s. And I think over half that band wanted to kill him.
Oh, Tom just joined. Hey, everybody, say hi.
Gladly. Before or after he double clicks somebody's mouse.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Good thing
Yeah,
no
I
spouses
did-
are on here.
I think Anthony Brown was the first person I saw do a full gig without a mace as a drum major. Angry the whole time, but I tell you, man, you nailed it. You gotta say you got his back, and you like it was supposed to be without a mace. You did an amazing.
Speaking of that, did anybody invite Mark Gleason?
I try to get in contact with him, but he's not answering his phone or anything.
Yeah, they're probably traveling the world, dude.
I'm sure they're in Europe or.
Dude, they
Spain
travel
or
the
some
world
crap.
nonstop. If he ain't working, he's traveling.
Yeah.
He's hard to stay in touch with, but we catch up every now and then. And I used to see him every single year at the tattoo, but I had to take last year off and this year off, but I'll be back next year. No, so we could talk about Mardi Gras as long as we're talking about like mace issues, right?
Oh God, Mark.
You remember
snapping
that?
the mace in half
When the mace broke and all that stuff in the parade.
because he stepped on it.
Yeah.
Broken.
Not if you ask
Well, he
him.
knocked his cover off.
Yeah, not if
No.
you ask him. His cover
It
never
wasn't
came off.
his fault.
No,
It wasn't his fault.
I
His cover didn't
specifically
come
remember
off.
seeing his cover rolling down
Rolling
the
down.
gutter.
Rolling down the street. He's bending
And he
over trying to
steps
pick it
on
up
the
and
middle
kicking
of
it.
And how he broke the mace was he tried to stab his cover to stop it,
Yeah.
and the mace broke.
Don't get him started on that because none of that ever happened.
Oh,
I
yes,
worked
it
hard.
did. I don't remember
I
much.
worked
I
hard
remember that.
building that one too.
They were playing the hymn, I think, at the time, and the band kept playing mostly. If you remember.
Oh god.
Might
Remember
have-
the
The
mace?
band was laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mace that went. Phil Carlson was in charge of it during that Tunes of Glory tattoo,
Oh God.
and Phil forgot it in like Montreal when we were in Edmonton or something. And he's like, "Dude, you got to go get it." So then Mark says, "I'll just use this guy's." And apparently, the pipe band had all their fallen comrades on it, and you never turn it upside down. And there's Mark out there freaking spinning that son of a bitch on the ferrule, and they're all like mortified. And then Phil says, "Don't worry, Gunny, I'll make you one." And he goes to some pawn shop, buys an eagle with a mop pole and like a piece of yarn down it, and he made it. And he gives it to Mark, and Mark goes, "What the f is this?" And he throws it down the right, using that piece of shit.
I forgot
Oh,
about the
God.
mop handle mace. Oh my gosh.
Phil was so he spent like $150 on all this ornamentation.
Oh, my
and
God.
Mark's like, "I ain't using that crap, dude." Oh boy.
Wow.
Somehow we
Jesse-
magically made those gigs work, though.
Hey,
Magically.
Jesse made it.
Hey guys, I figured out technology.
Nice.
Oh man.
Hey,
Hey, girl, you haven't changed a bit.
Nope.
No, I'm just kidding. Wow, that's a beard.
It is a beard. Yeah. A little different.
Yeah.
I keep stuff in here.
I'm working on mine now. It'll come.
My dad said it's just a phase, but I've been retired since 2011. So
Yeah.
quite a long phase.
Hey, where's everyone at right now? Like Adrian, Anthony, Carl.
I'm in
Jesse,
San
what part
Antonio,
of the country?
Texas, my home of record. I'm actually in the same part of town from where I lived and went to high school. Right now, I'm at work, but I live on the
You look
northeast
like you're
side, but I
working
work
hard.
on the southwest side.
you know Mike July.
Well, yeah, we've met up a few times, and some other high school buddies that also came into the band as well. And some of y'all might have been
Yeah.
stationed with a few of them, but I'm not going to go down that road to discussion. But Mike July and I went to high school together.
Oh yeah, right on. We're gonna be moving down there in about 3 years.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, moved down to San Antonio. I'm south of St. Louis right now, but
Oh, wow.
yeah. So
Damn Yankee.
yeah, but he comes up and he flies up to visit about 3 or 4 times a year. I fly down, play in his band every once in a while.
I can't even
Yeah.
get him to respond to text. What are you talking about? That guy's
Dude.
been ghosting me since high school.
Ghost man, that guy, he's the worst at responding. It'll take days.
Oh, yeah.
I've yelled at him, but whatever.
So yeah, Christian, I'm at Joint Base Lewis McCord in Washington, living
Washington.
in Olympia. Retired here out of the reserves as a PA, and now I work as the OIC in the clinic here.
Wow.
Work as what?
Say ONC of what?
Of a giant Soldier Center medical home. It's a family medicine clinic. As a
Dang.
civilian, it's a GS position.
The PR,
Dang,
Dr.
roll
Broski.
big. I like it.
Dr. Broski.
That's right. Is it doctor? We call you doctor.
Well, when you,
No.
a PA is not a doctor, but you can still call them that. They're close to dang enough.
You can still
Yeah.
write prescriptions.
And the school is
true.
insane. All the Army and, well, mostly all Army, they train here in San Antonio. So I've had friends that used to be in the band, Army band, that went through PA school here, and we hung out and other medical training. Even shoot, the other clarinet instructor at the School of Music, Rachel Wilson, she came through here. She went into the medical field through the Army and all that too.
Yeah, I went through IPAP in 2012.
Oh yeah. Right there on BAMC?
It's close. It's just the AMED Center in school.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad was one of the civil service guys there for their supply
Nice.
for AMED. Yeah. Yeah, small world.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, tell us where you're at and what you're doing and when you served at 29, because you were ignoring us a while ago.
I was trying to get the audio. You would think I would know.
You're the prime minister. You should know.
Yeah, I'm at the Pentagon in a cubicle, 99 to 2001 at 29 Palms.
Mm-hmm.
OG sound guy for the rock band and the country band and the show band. It's the same
There were a lot
band,
of
just switch
Mexicans.
singers.
There were a lot of Mexicans in that band. What the hell?
I know. Well, we'll start with the guitarist.
We just
Well,
gotta-
Rob, we had
Pacheco,
to
man.
put outside we had to put him outside the door in the bar because he wasn't 21.
Oh yeah,
They wouldn't let him in
That
to run
stumps.
sound.
that stumps. They're trying to kick me out, and because I was under 21.
Oh,
Yeah, good
messed
yeah.
up.
The
What up,
21-year-olds.
We
Mr.
got OG
Anderson.
Bandmaster just joined.
Another Mexican.
So I remember David there. I remember back you broke yourself like 5 times, and the general of the base had to tell you to stop messing around because you kept freaking breaking everything.
I wanted to climb mountains and ride dirt bikes. I couldn't help it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Oh,
still see Sean Helms from time to time there.
Oh
Dave.
yeah, it's his
Oh,
fault.
Oh no, he not the way he tells it. He warned you not to be doing that, and you just wide open and
Hey, I thought I could make it. It's one of those hold my beer moments.
yeah.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
went up into Joshua Tree, and old Anderson, he decided he wanted to go do some bouldering, and so we go up there. It was like a freaking movie. I thought a helicopter was going to have to come get us. And he said, "Oh, I'm going to jump this little crack, and this ain't a big deal, right? It's just this little crack." And he jumps, and it goes down about 5 feet, and he lands inside of a hole. So your heel hit first, right?
Yep.
And you're scattered, and I had to carry you down.
Yeah, and that's why
It took like 2 hours.
you're my hero, man. Still to this day.
Yeah.
Hey, meanwhile, the rest of the band is in San Francisco, and I'm getting phone calls from Jake Furlong saying, "Hey, are you with the boss?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" "Oh, Top just broke his femur. It's in half, dude. It's like his leg bends in 4 places." I'm like, "Sir, hey, his femur. You've got to be kidding me, Marine. That he needs ORM training." And then he played on the streetcars.
Yeah.
Fucking went around and rode the streetcars for about 45 minutes or an hour, made like $300, and then put it on the tab next to the bar next to the Marines Memorial Club.
Well, see,
While you
there,
laid in the hospital.
it's all good times.
Hey, and Anthony mentioned about getting to the band right on September 11th that day. You guys remember flying back on the 10th,
the tent.
carrying freaking claymores and daggers and stuff in that whatever plane that we bought?
from
We just loaded
Colorado.
up on weapons. There you guys
Yep.
at the Marine, that's fine. We had like all kinds of crazy weapons on, carrying those things out from the Colorado trip the night before. Crazy.
I remember getting a call from the sergeant major saying, "Hey, Top, what are you doing?" I was like, "Sleeping." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "Turn on your TV." and get dressed and get on bass. I'm like, holy crap.
You were supposed to have a big band gig that night.
Yeah, we were. Didn't happen. Hey, I like this, man. Looks good.
Yeah, I'm a
Right.
little hairier. Yeah,
Just a bit.
just a little.
You've always been a little hairier.
I was gonna say honestly, it's not much more for Adrian.
Yeah, I had to shave 3 times a day.
So
You
for
wonder why I
the
don't shave
rock
it now.
band, the next retirement is either going to be Dwayne or Robert, right?
I think Dwayne's gonna be before me.
It'll be
Yeah.
me.
It'll be you.
Really?
Yep. Next
Yeah,
May.
let's go up. Let's go up to the freaking 8th and I and rock that piss out of the parade deck.
Dude,
That'd be great.
Look it up,
Dude,
Dwayne.
he can get you a gig at the Commandant's lawn.
With Motley Crue, I bet you want to get kicked out.
And
I don't know.
Knock
We've
off
seen some
Major
crazy
Louise.
shit in there.
What do you do? What do you do, Dwayne? Because you were there like right when I got there, right? You left shortly thereafter.
Yeah, I
think
left
I remember you.
about 3 months later. Right now I'm the drum major for the President's Own.
Oh, right on, dude.
Ooh.
That's
Sweet.
all.
What's
Took
that?
over from Stacy.
I said that's all.
That's all.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
No big
Yeah.
deal.
No big
Hey,
deal. Another day.
well, since I got you on, you know, my son Ethan, he's a composer. He's actually got music being played by universities around the country, and he's got some NDA stuff I can't talk about Hollywood and stuff that might get big. But he sent a couple to President's Own. He met the conductor. I guess it was at in Chicago last year or something. Anyway,
Okay.
so if you ever see any music come by that says Ethan Brown, you know, just put it on top of the pile.
Does it say
I'll have to
freak
pull
show
it
in
out.
parentheses?
Honestly, we get so much music sent to us weekly.
Oh, I
that
bet.
We have its own file in the library, and the vast majority of it, our librarians are kind of the keepers of that. They look at it and they go, nah, and they put it away.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Yeah.
Anthony Wizzy write something entitled "Freak Show."
Ha. he might. I don't know. I mean, he's written all kinds of stuff. It's pretty amazing what he does. But yeah, that's where I got my nickname that still sticks is A-Train. Remember, we went to Canada. I think it was we were going to Canada, and Megan said we had to call everybody by our first name, and I said you won't be calling me by my first name. You can call me anything but, and then A-Train stuck. So I'm still called by that.
yeah,
What's
and then
Jesse
Bob
up
Orr
to?
was our hockey coach.
Every
Huh?
one of us a microphone hog. What's Jessie up to?
Oh yeah,
She's over here just watching the show.
the Marine Souffle Club.
Very,
Jesse, where you at?
I'm in Buckley, Washington, not too far from Carl.
Hmm.
We've had one lunch meetup, and we just realized it was over a year ago.
Dang.
I work in human resources at Expedia Group.
Oh, sweet.
you were with Amazon before that, right?
Yes,
Wow.
I still
Thank
play saxophone.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm
you're in
in
a
several groups, mostly classical or chamber music, but
band geek. No.
Yeah.
Play more than all of us, maybe.
I was playing for a little bit. I took several years off, and then one of my high school buddies asked me to go join a big band. Old 60s style big band, and I was like, oh hell yeah! He's like, we need a lead alto. I'm like, well shit, I don't play anymore. Let me see if I still got chops. Shit, turned out it just like riding a bike, and we had a blast. And then the pandemic hit, so we had a lot of dudes that were way older than me. So of course they dispersed like the roaches when the lights come on. But once they started kind of easing their way back, I was kind of getting rolled too much at my job, and I just really didn't have time for that. So now I haven't touched my axe since the pandemic hit.
Whoa.
But I know
Yeah,
I can pick it back up.
You were okay to begin with, so that's all right.
I played a little bit. I learned a lot at the School of Music, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Became much more of a player, with any style. You sort of have to there with the best of the best,
Yep.
God, what
And
talent
we all
was at that
remember when we went to Pahrump, Nevada, and Tones freak Anthony Parsons decides to hit whatever he was going to try and hit and passed out right next to Rob
Passes
McCary and
out.
you guys.
Rump.
Almost hit his head off the drums. But Rob looks down and goes, "You all right, man?" And his eyes are rolled back in his head, freaking.
Oh,
Oh
Dude,
God, that was.
Dude,
was
I'll tell you
awesome.
a story. I'll tell you a story about passing out. You guys remember Lidbeck, right?
Oh yeah,
Hey.
back on the deck.
Clickback, right? We used to call him Clickback. I always missed the horns up or whatever. I remember we went to San Antonio or Austin. It was like Independence Parade or whatever. Anyways, we're marching and we end up like at City Hall, whatever, going to this concert band split. And this audience is pretty up close to us, but we're waiting there for announcers or whatever. I just remember being on the back row of the trumpet section. And I remember Adrian, you were right next to me with the clarinets, right? Anyways, I remember Leibig was in the front row of the trumpets in the middle where parade rests. All of a sudden he comes to attention and just starts marching off.
oh yeah.
I remember
can't
I remember
see.
Gleason like starts like murmuring, like, get back in there, blah blah blah, whatever, right? I thought like Lidvik was gonna go play taps or something, you know what I mean? Like he's designated. Anyway, comes back like a couple minutes later, comes to attention again and starts marching off. Again, Gleason, and we're like, oh shit, Lidvik's gonna pass out. So we're like in the back, Lidvik, don't think about it, breathe, don't lock your knees, and all this stuff, right? And all of a sudden, Lidvik just falls, right? We are trying to catch him. And I distinctly remember this kid in the audience just goes, "Oh my God, that guy just got shot," right? Really loud, really loud. And I remember we're all like trying to control it, but we can't because we're like afraid. We're like laughing. I just remember Adrian, you just losing it, like body like shaking because we we're just laughing so hard. We're carrying out Lidbeck, to the side. I just distinctly remember that event so clear, man. So like that.
I don't remember
Yeah.
losing my bearing. I don't know what you're
Who
talking
is who is the
Yeah, right.
euphonium
You're like the
player?
first one.
about.
Who was the euphonium player that passed out on First Tank's grinder?
Yeah, when his
Ate
head
his
bled all
mouthpiece.
over the concrete. I
Oh,
remember
Johnson, right? Wasn't Nick
Johnson.
Kendrick
That was
Johnson?
up at on the General's lawn, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Like Morning
Johnson.
Colors kind of thing, and his head bled all over the concrete. So every time we went back, there's this big white like stain from the bleach they used to clean it all up and everything.
Yeah,
The band kept
Johnson.
playing, if you remember, because he was playing when he went down, and we just kept playing with eyes about that big. Like, oh.
Oh man.
Anybody know whatever happened to Paulie?
I was gonna say that when he said something about not being 21, because I remember that bus ride back from Lake Havasu when he turned 21. Y'all remember that?
Listen,
Wait, which Paulie are you talking about? There was two.
Jason Paul.
Jason
Not
Polly.
Jason.
Trombone Paulie.
Jason.
Trombone
Trombone
Paulie.
Paulie, yeah.
Trombone Polly. Yeah.
I don't know. I thought
Yeah,
Shook was gonna be on
he
here.
got money. He stopped sending money home, and he put a sequin shirt on, and he says, "You guys like my clubbing shirt?"
Robin? You talking about Robin Paulie?
No, that was
No,
freaking Jason.
was
Actually,
Jason
he punched
Polly.
himself in the face and threw his glasses across the grinder. The Gleason's like, "Put your fucking glasses up," and he just threw them across the tank grinder.
Hey, Brad, remember that time
Yeah.
we watched him eating bugles all the way back from wherever we were?
So,
Dude.
Hey, listen. Speaking of Lake Havasu, so Johnny Russ texted us. He's so sorry he can't make it. He was texting. He said he's stuck at the firehouse on a late call or something. But Johnny and I were always in the truck, and man, I got so many stories of him seeing women in white dresses in the middle of the road in Nevada because he was so tired, hallucinating. But one of those Havasu jobs where Adrian's doing keg stands with Gleason and all this crap. The bus is in front of us, the white weenie. We get to Amboy. We get to the train tracks, and whoa! Here comes like two garbage bags at the back of the bus. And Johnny goes, "Oh shit, man! Somebody lost their uniform." I was like, "All right, pull up, I'll get it." And I open a door, and I pull up this garbage bag, and it is literally filled halfway with vomit that you guys have been passing around the entire back of the bus. And I go, "Fucking drive, dude! It's puke!" And I threw it. And then the rest of the way back, it was nothing but freaking Perrine smoking cigarettes, throwing them out the window, trying to catch the desert on fire. And everybody else, Gary Robinson and them smoking in the back of the bus, throwing butts out the back. I'm like, dude, this can't be good. Oh my God.
No,
Lake
Paulie was
Havasu.
hanging his head out the window of the bus,
Yeah,
puking all
and
down the
barking,
side of
yeah.
the bus. Yeah, the whole. We had him chasing
Oh,
quarters
God.
in the bottom of pitchers. Remember? You gotta catch this with your teeth. Blink. And there he goes.
That's the one where we got
that's the
Gary
same
Beeman
trip.
to do keg stands.
Oh my gosh.
What?
And
Oh wow.
she freaking jumped off that cliff and ruptured her hamstring.
Oh, dude, that's right. She landed
Well,
straight up, like legs were parallel to the wall. Oh
Yeah, she
man,
had that full body bruise from the waist down. Was all
Hey
black.
guys,
and blue.
hey guys, I got to dip out of here. I just wanted to stop in and say hi, see your faces, and tell you guys I think about y'all a lot. I really do, and I appreciate your times with you guys. A lot of good times.
yes,
And
sir.
Uncle or Aunt Brad, Devery says
Yep.
hi.
Oh, hi.
She's
He's
34
like
and
married with
two kids in
kids
the room
and all
already.
that stuff.
Was that?
For everybody else, I went to Dave and I said, "Hey, man," I said, "I set my date for the wedding." He goes, "Really? When is it?" And I said, "I don't know what her name. I know it's July something, July 18th, 2000, whatever." He goes, "No way. That's my daughter's 18th birthday." I said, "Yes, it is."
Yeah, I'll never
man,
forget
he
that
jumped
story.
right into that one.
Yeah, you got me. Hook, line, and sinker.
Yep.
All right, guys, y'all
You
have a
know
good night, man.
Take care, Dave.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
See you, Dave.
Oh, crazy times.
Yeah, they were. I was scared to come onto this one. I was like, oh no,
how do
how
we?
many stories surface?
There's
Yeah,
there's a lot of
how do we
stories,
make
I'm
it?
sure. Let's
Exactly.
let's go round robin and everybody talk about their best story that they got.
Oh
We-
no.
Oh,
Dan,
dude,
Dan,
Jesus.
it's like 10 stories.
Come on.
Dan,
We don't
Dan,
have
go
enough
ahead.
bandwidth for that.
You
Wow.
want me to go first?
Yeah, go first, Dan.
Oh, it's not necessarily a partying story. It was terrifying, to be honest. It was that before the Brad's mic check incident. It was traveling to that gig, and Johnny Russ is driving the truck, and this is before GPS. This is before cell phones. All you had was your, Rand McNally, foldable
MapQuest.
map from the 7-Eleven.
MapQuest.
Yeah,
Print
yeah,
out
none
the
of that stuff existed, and
5
John
U-turns.
just goes on his own program, and he just starts driving, and he's, probably going 80, 85 miles an hour. The bus won't even do that fast. So, forget about trying to keep up with him. It was impossible. So he disappears completely out of sight. We're going to roll up to this place, and I'm wondering if we're going to have anything to set up, because he was just gone. And I didn't know if they had a map. Brad, were you with him in that truck?
Yes. Yep.
Hey,
Yes, I
what's
was.
up, Vic?
Do you have anything you'd like to share from that experience?
It wasn't 85. It was more like 90. And and we knew exactly where we were going. Got there, and we waited for probably 45 minutes. And finally, the bus shows up, and the first thing we see come out is Hurricane Dan, ready to light Johnny's ass on fire. And that just spiraled downhill for when we all know the infamous syphilis moment.
Oh yeah.
So that was the start of it. So
I was there too.
John swears he swears he was only doing 55. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. We couldn't even see. You were doing like drive. That's how far the needle was. It was down.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
And it's coming off just being an instrumentalist and not having any of the leadership or the unit leader billets. Being the repair tech. That was the first and only gig that I ever took out that I was in charge of, and
Yep.
it just
Oh,
there
I
were a
was
lot
laughing.
of points of failure.
I was
Hey,
glad I
it was
wasn't in
great.
charge of that shit. I was wandering the grounds. I heard Brad. I didn't see very many people yet. Like no one had started showing up. And I was laughing my ass off. And then there goes Hurricane Dan, like you said, flying across the field. I almost had to like grab a hold and say, dude, calm down. It'll be okay. We'll stop him. It won't happen again, that kind of thing. And he wanted to run you up the flagpole, bro. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie.
yeah.
I had to talk him down from that one for a little while. A few beers later, like, come on, man. We were all young and it just got wrapped up in the moment. It was actually kind of funny when you think about it. No, fuck no, it was not funny.
It was fucking hysterical.
Yeah, it was.
I was not the
most
best
of us were there.
influence. Just put it that way.
It was only funny to y'all because you all weren't the ones that were going to be responsible if shit went sideways.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Your first gig in Stafford COIC, your first gig. And it was perfect. We were awesome.
Yeah, so I had plenty of those kind of moments in other bands later on. Yeah. Small, I was the small ensemble leader after that. Remember, I went to the school for that.
Yeah.
I spent 8 years at the school before I got to go out to a band and be that. And we're in a mall gig, and my lead singer starts singing freaking Tenacious D songs, like he's doing Wonder Boy in Pearl City Mall or something. I was like, oh, I'm like, that wasn't on the set list. What the hell's going on? Anyway, go back
All
to
right.
29 Palm Stories. These are
Yeah,
good.
in my
Hold on.
my
Before we
second
go on,
story.
I'm gonna time out. So before we go on, I'm gonna end this show, but we're gonna keep going, so don't go anywhere. I'm just gonna end it. That way we can move on to the next show. So I'm gonna put you on mute for just a second. All right, to all the listeners out there, thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you need help, you need assistance, you feel like harming yourself or somebody else, you can dial 988 and press option 1. You can also go to the veteranscrisisline.net. They have a chat icon that you can do, that you can post messages there. Somebody will respond to you. But remember, we care about you. I know I care about you. Probably everybody here cares about you. All the veterans around the world care about you. So get the help that you need. With that, stay motivated. Change your socks.